Hey everyone, it's Michaela again, and I'm here with another segment of my Create a Sim Disney series. And for this one, I decided to go recreate Merida from Brave. And I feel like she turned out pretty well, given that it's pretty hard to recreate characters, especially the characters that have like the bigger heads, if you know what I mean. Like in Frozen, like the newer stuff, where they have like giant heads, it seems like. But I feel like I did pretty well in this, which you'll see as the video goes on. And also the other thing with her is she has the same hairstyle for every single outfit, because I downloaded a bunch of hairs, but the hair color didn't really match, and most of the hairs I downloaded didn't even really have red hair, which was annoying. But I feel like she still turned out pretty well. And also, since Brave is set in Scotland, and that is where I studied abroad, I decided that maybe for this video, I'll just talk about my study abroad experience, because I have gotten asked about that. So, like I just said, I studied abroad in Scotland, and that was my first time ever going out of the country. I mean, so the first few days when I flew to UK, I went to London for a few days. So I guess that was technically my first time away. But that was only for like 2 or 3 days, and most of it I was sleeping anyway, because I was so jet lagged that I was sleeping like 16 hours at a time, which it was fine because my whole time in the UK was for like 5 months, and I went to London after that anyways, so I didn't get to miss out. But once I got to Scotland, so I'm pretty sure the university had it set up where I could have gotten like a free like taxi thing, I want to say, that would pick me up from the airport. I did not do that, however, because I don't know, I just didn't do it. And so I ended up taking the bus from Edinburgh to Stirling, which is like I was studying abroad at the University of Stirling. And so I had to take a bus there, carrying 3 suitcases, because I had my carry-on, and then I had 2 bigger ones for the checked baggage, plus a backpack, which if you ever try to carry 3 suitcases, it's very, very hard, and I don't recommend it. And so I figure out where I'm going. I get to Stirling, and then so I took a train from Edinburgh to Stirling. Then I had to take a bus to campus, which I had like no knowledge of where anything was on campus. And you know, everyone in Scotland is super, super nice. I love them all, except the bus drivers, which I've had it on multiple occasions where bus drivers have been mean to me, but maybe I'll get to that later. But anyways, this guy. So first of all, it's my first time like really out of the country. I have anxiety, and I was just like nervous about everything because I was like, am I going to the right place? Like, I don't know anyone. And even though they speak English in Scotland, when you're there for the first time, it's very hard to understand what they're saying because their accents are so strong, which isn't a bad thing. I just like hadn't really talked to anyone who was Scottish or anything. And so I get to the bus. I have no idea how much I like need to pay for it. I also cannot understand what he said when I asked him, so I just gave him like a 10-pound bill thingy, and he started yelling at me for it, so that was fun. And then we got to campus. I didn't know where I was supposed to be dropped off at, and so I'm trying to get off, trying to carry my 3 suitcases too, and then he yelled at me again. So that was my bad start to Scotland. But it was so much better. After that, the bus drivers are just bleh. No, that's what I'm gonna call them. But I don't know, there's so much that I could like talk about with this. I guess my time studying abroad was when I started just traveling a lot by myself, which I hadn't really done before. But I went to so many places by myself. Like, I did tons of day trips to Glasgow and Edinburgh. I really like Edinburgh. Although they're like the castles, it looks like really old. Like every time I went there, it made me feel like I was in like a fairy tale or even just like a Disney movie or something. Also, talking about fairy tales, there was a time that I went to Inverness also by myself, and a couple of my roommates, because I lived like in this apartment, a flat, on campus, and so a couple of my roommates had already gone there, and so one of them was like, "You should go to Dunrobin Castle." You should totally Google Dunrobin Castle. It is so adorable. It looks like it's like a Sleeping Beauty type of castle, because I mean, if you've seen like real life castles, they have like that like not Disney vibe, if you know what I'm saying. But this one It was so cute. It made me feel like I was in a Disney movie. And then the interior of it, I was just gonna look at the exterior of it, but then I got stressed out when the guy asked me if I wanted to buy a ticket, so I bought one. But they had it all decorated. I couldn't take any pictures of the inside, but it was so cute. I loved it. And then the back like yard area, it was just this giant garden. Like, I would totally go back there. I think the train ride there was probably like an hour or two, just one way, but totally worth it. Other places I really liked. My favorite part of Scotland is Isle of Skye, which is just super pretty. I went on a field trip once there, and my favorite part was the fairy pools, because I don't even know how to explain it, but it was just like a bunch of like water everywhere, and we got to like walk along it. You should just Google what these places look like, because it's really hard to like explain it in my head right now. I also really liked Fairy Glen, which the bus driver for the field trip thing, he explained it kind of looking like the Shire from Lord of the Rings, which I totally agree with. And actually, that trip is what sparked like one story idea, which I haven't actually written, but I've had it in my head for like I studied about 3 years ago, so I've had it in my head for like 3 years. But I mean, I guess I have tons of story ideas in my head that I never actually get written down. But yeah, studying abroad was such like a great experience, and I really want to go back. I actually was trying to plan a trip to go back, but then I ended up moving instead and using all my money for moving, which is fine. One day I do want to go again. I want to go back to Isle of Skye. Also, Edinburgh was really cool. There was one weekend, me and a couple of friends, we were in Edinburgh for the weekend, and we went on, I think it was called the Edinburgh Dungeon, I want to say. And so there was like actors in there, and you went to different rooms, and they were acting out just different parts of history of Scotland, and I think specifically in Edinburgh, which was super cool because it was just like a cool way to like learn it, and it also kind of felt like you're living in it too, because you're going to all these different rooms. It was like all dressed up, and I don't know, it was very cool. I feel like, okay, so that semester, honestly, I did not do well in my classes, because that's another thing. The schools in the UK are really, really hard, especially compared to the US. Like, I remember going to my orientation, and there was the person speaking, and she was like, honestly, you guys aren't going to get A's this semester because it's just that hard, which it was. And also, I just wasn't totally focused on the school, but I feel like I learned more just by traveling, learning more about myself, and just about the different countries that I went. Because, I mean, I didn't just go to the UK. I went to like France, Spain, Amsterdam, all these fun places. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, then please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know how you think of Merida, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye everyone.